Welcome back, guys. It is the Brothers Geek Out podcast, and we have a movie review for you guys. It's going to be non-spoiler. This is going to be for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. G-Man only landed yesterday from Dubai, so we were here live. It was our last screening of the year, but it was nice to do it together. G-Man, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Yeah, it was awesome thing to come back to yesterday, come see the family and whatnot, and then get straight to work with the brothers, geek out and go watch this premiere. I know it don't sound like work, but trust me, it was work. Man was jet lagged and tired and really didn't want to go, but I'm glad we got a chance to watch this together
Yeah.
and do the last screening of the year together.
No, definitely. It was full on. Same thing. I got up at 5 that morning, pick G-Man up, come back, work, and then go to this, which was really good, bro. Because for me personally, it's a full circle moment. This is where it kind of kicked off for us 5 years ago with Aquaman being my first ever premiere, and me getting to meet Peter Safran and James Wan, who's the director, and that's my that's an insane moment for me, like getting to meet producers and directors of the movie. But actually going to the premiere and all the cars, I had Dolph Lundgren sitting behind me, Nicole Kidman was there. No, it was an insane moment, bro. Insane moment. And thanks to Warner Brothers UK. That's one thing I've got to say. They've really helped. I think helped us progress in what we do and given us great opportunities. And yeah, I mean, they gave me opportunity to speak to fucking James Gunn, Matt Reeves, all of these people, like directors, man, big directors, so big creatives. So
It's amazing.
I think for the
They
podcast, they smashed it.
But on that, I appreciate and I'm happy that they recognized our work. When I say our work, our podcast, our content, how we articulate our thoughts around it, be it basic or sometimes gets more philosophical. Can't even say the words, but considering I can't say words, even though I'm not doing the interviews, they're hooking us up and they appreciate what we do from a fan perspective and whatnot. So yeah, no, shout outs to them for giving us the opportunities, but also we put the work in, man, and we're getting recognized. And that's the only reason why we're getting recognized, because we do put the work in. And I think this whole journey, we have bettered ourselves with doing this in regards to, like I say, articulating our thoughts, speaking better. We're always going to have our issues, but we work hard at it, man. End of the day, we work hard, so we got those opportunities. But I'm glad a full circle moment came round, and at least we finished this circle together. Even though I didn't get a chance to see Jason Momoa and them guys, but at least I got a chance to watch the movie and got a little teddy bear.
No, exactly. I mean, listen, man, we'll jump straight into this review. It's a non-spoiler review, guys. So we've got to catch a screening last night at Warner Brothers at what was it, Odeon Cinema in the West End, and it's end of the DC EU era for us as well. We've followed the journey all the way from the beginning to where it has become now, and man, I had a great fun time at the movies. I mean, this is just my initial reactions, and kept me entertained. Loved the visuals. Some of the battle scenes were amazing, and it had this anime feel to it, if that makes sense, like a really cool anime stylistic look to it, but the action is on point. But yeah, I had a good fun time. It was entertaining, bro. I mean, what more am I gonna ask for? Like, I think personally, I don't think this movie is gonna get the love that it deserves, but as you said yesterday, thinking about it, you're right. I enjoyed it more than the first one.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I went in with no expectations. I felt that the first one was okay. I enjoyed it, but I felt like if it was going to be like that, I wouldn't enjoy it as much. I just kind of appreciate for what it was. And two, I honestly, this is what I thought, and I think I was wrong. I thought the studios wouldn't give a shit about it 100%. I'm sure there was a little bit of element of whatnot. And we can go into more details when we do the podcast about that side. But in regards to the movie, I just didn't expect much. But man, I walked away like, yes, I enjoyed it more than the first one. I was entertained throughout the whole movie with great, creative, fun action scenes. Like as you said, anime. I mean, it was a superhero movie. Like when I
Mm,
mean the action, when I mean the action scenes were what I want to see in a superhero movie. Just very flamboyant, very powerful, very destructive.
mm.
You know what I mean? Like super beings are fighting and fighting whatever they're fighting. It was just that, and I have to. I'm not going to spoil it. I was just about to say a little scene, but I'm not going to spoil it. But some of the choreography and whatnot that I actually got goosebumps. I'm like, that was sick. And like, I almost felt like when I watched, you know, like a old martial art movie or even a new one with Tony Jaa or whatever. You
Mm.
see a scene, you're like, oh, that was sick. Like that's how I felt in some of the choreography. I was like, I
Yeah.
haven't felt like that in for a movie, for an action movie or a superhero movie in a long time. And that gave that to me. I was genuinely impressed. I liked it.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
give a shit. It's upsetting that it will not get the hype that it's supposed to. I won't make the money that it's going to get to. I think there's a lot of things that I do think Warner Brothers, even though we gave you shout outs, mad love, I do think you've kind of given up on this thing as well. I think even heard Jason Momoa saying that I don't think the fans are really hyped for this as well. And I think that's true as well. I don't think there's as much marketing as could have been put into this. And because I think this is the end of the DCEU and we followed it all the way through, we've appreciated it for what it is. But I think a lot of people are just like, well, that's the end. I'm going to be done with that. And hopefully they start fresh with the new DC universe that's going to come out. But that's a shame. This one, the first one was $1 billion movie. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like
Mm.
this one should be on that level as well, because it was so much fun. It
Yeah.
was. I enjoyed it so much.
No, same, bro. Listen, I mean, this is the story about Black Manta coming back and getting his revenge on Aquaman. Uh, and it was very good and very laid out in a way where this movie got tempered with a lot of things got changed in the process. You know, the one thing about the internet spoilers getting out and stuff like that. But I personally think this would have been a really good lead to a number three. Our only reason why they had so much more world building in this as well, which I really appreciated. So they spoke about the different worlds and why, and a backstory about the Lost Kingdom. It kind of gave me a little bit of a Lord of the Rings vibe. And you know what James Wan is good at? Horror, bro. He knew how to bring those creatures to life. He made them look intricate. Even that scene at the beginning, and this is is this spoiler? There's an octopus that grabs a person. You that can happen at any moment of the movie. That was a scary scene, bro.
Yeah,
But
no, I agree. I definitely agree with what you said about the world building because the first movie, I don't know the percentages, but the first movie felt like a lot of it was on land, whereas this one I felt like a good 70% plus was in water,
mm,
and I really appreciate that because again, you said it's a world building, this whole city of Atlantis, and also a lot more character building. And you brought up Mantis and his brother. I actually felt a lot more connected. Mantis was awesome in this. Listen,
mm,
I'm saying it straight. I felt he was a bit cheesy in the first one. I'm just saying it.
mm.
In this one, he was brilliant. I feel
Bad
like
guy.
his motive,
Yeah.
I love the fact that his motive still existed from the first one, which was
Hmm.
cool because it extends his motive. But then there was extra stuff to it, which I won't go into and whatnot. But he looked awesome. I have to say the costume design in this looked
Sick.
awesome. I it really good, right? And so they built so much more on him, and I was like, oh, I like Black Manta now. And actually, that was good. And his brother, again, I'm not going to spoil it or anything, but there was more of a connection there as
Mm,
well. He wasn't just the bad. I mean, in the first one, he wasn't the big bad, but there was conflict there. I loved what they did with this one, and it gave me more emotions towards him, made him more
mm,
likable and lovable. And I really think they've done a great job with world building and character building on this, and even Aquaman himself. I think there was a lot more character building with him
mm.
because of I don't want to spoil it, but just him trying to be a king. Pull it that way. Like
That's right.
there's all of
That's right.
that. Family, his kid, you seen in the trailer, him trying to be a king. There was a lot more character building. We'll do the spoiler review on the podcast, guys.
Yeah,
So
that's right. Make
right,
sure you
yeah.
check out the
So you
podcast.
guys can yeah, but this one I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, no, great character building. So that's why I'm a little bit like, oh man, one, it should deserve everything that it deserves. And two, that's the end. Like, oh man, it is a bit sad when I think of it that way.
It was kind of heartbreaking. I personally feel like it should have they should have pushed on the marketing on this one, bro. You know, I don't know what it is, because some people will pick out a few things, and 100% some of the CGI, it's not, there. But as a movie, solid action movie, comic book world movie, I had a great time. It was entertaining. It's not your Dark Knight,
Oh,
but
nothing is though. What is that?
exactly, yeah. But that's what I'm saying.
Different
Like, what
realm.
I think the problem is now is that we've come to a point now where we're classed as press, critiques, whatever, blah blah blah. I still say we're fans. People are going to go technical on this movie, story based, and the rest of it. I think people forget the element of entertainment. This is entertainment. This is there to entertain a certain amount of people, and it entertained me. So shout outs to Jason and the team. James Wan, I think he directed something really well. The visuals look good. He's giving me a comic book movie. That's what comic book movies are. I don't know how can you make that movie realistic? Does that make sense? Because people are looking to connect with it on a realistic vibe, but you can still connect it to it on a character level. That's why we connect with comic book characters, because we connect with them that's our realistic version, like connecting to characters like that, not the situation and how vast things are. But, the brother situation, we can connect to that brother's thing. We maybe not get along, but we make it work. We need to find, their values of family is really important as well. The responsibilities of being a father and then being the provider and being a protector, that they're all there. I think people forget those little messages. Something about, there's a conversation that you guys are going to see that Aquaman and his dad have, and that really hit me. And I was like, such a beautiful scene. And guys, if you want to hear about it, and if you do get the chance, it's out already today in cinema. Go check it out. I would say if you're a fan of comic book movies, you'll enjoy it. But there's a deep scene in there with him and his dad, and kind of struck a chord for me, being a dad, and how it makes me feel. And it was beautiful. I found that scene really good.
Definitely.
You got a lot of the returning
listen, man.
cast.
I think
go on.
I was just going to touch on what you mentioned was relatability. Like, forget, and I'm not going to go deep into it, but there is some stuff, and we spoke a little bit about yesterday. Aquaman is originally a Caucasian individual with a clean face, blonde hair, blue eyes, all that sort of stuff. And there are some people that are kicking up fuss again after, he's been announced as Aquaman for 5 years. What I'm saying is, put that aside. He was so good, Jason Momoa, as Aquaman. And in this movie specifically, there was so much relatability. None of that even mattered to me. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I relate to these characters on a human, relatable perspective. It's not really based on diversity. Yeah, I'm saying that stuff is cool. What I'm saying is that, like, when you do great stories and when you make those characters relatable, that's more important than having my face as a superhero. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
Like, I connected with those scenes that you're talking about, and a lot of those characters, the brothers, because we're brothers, like Black Manta, all that stuff. Not because of the face and what they look like. It was because of the relatable character. As human beings, right, we all have the same thing in common, which is relatability. We're human, right? So this is what I'm this is my perspective on that whole diversity and equity and stuff. Do it, great. You've got to have the human element in it. You've got to make them relatable to other human beings. Like, if you're doing when you're doing like a ethnic, if you're changing a character to an ethnic character or whatnot, whatever, like, yes, it's catered towards that ethnicity, but don't forget about all the other human beings in the world, because we're all human. We all have emotions. We all have heart. We all relate to something, right? As human beings. Don't forget about that element, right? Otherwise, you just put in my face in there and be like, oh yeah, you should relate to him because it's your face. Like, no, I don't relate to him. So there's so many parts in this movie, like I said, and so many characters and relationships that I relate to on a human level. So I don't even give a shit what Jason Momoa or Aquaman looks like. It was like, oh, I like that character, or his father or his brother. I don't care what they look like. There's that relatability, man. The brothers, you know what I mean? We're brothers. I can relate to those two brothers. It doesn't, just because they were not the same skin color as us, doesn't mean like, oh, they're not relatable. Like, they were so relatable
Yeah.
because it had that human element. So I wanted to touch on that because I thought that was important.
No, it was really good. That part is it's really important. Definitely really important. So, no, listen, we'll do a full breakdown in for next week's podcast. I think just to let people know, it's out today. It's good fun. It's entertaining. We really enjoyed it, and I hope it gets the love that it deserves.
I hope so too. I really do. We'll see again. We'll
Yeah,
see.
exactly.
The
Yeah.
numbers will come out. People will talk shit. All that stuff. We'll touch base. I guess we'll touch base on next week's podcast because that's when all the numbers will come out. I really hope so too. But if that, I mean, that is the end of the DCEU. I think that's a great way out in
Yeah.
regards to a final movie. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it concludes the DCEU. I'm just saying as a final movie, I'm like, I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I could definitely watch it again. Because of the entertainment action value, I can actually watch it again. I felt like it was a rewatchable movie. Like, one more time, I could do it again, personally.
No, that's true, because it runs like, I think they used the formula of like Terminator on that one. It's a chase movie. It's something to do movie. It's a continuous movement. It's not pause, break, pause. You know, keep going.
We need to build
Pause.
on this part. Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
None
agreed,
of that. It was
agreed.
like it continued to, like, you know, they had a mission. They went and executed that mission. So it's a perfect formula. It works. We've seen probably the story 1,000 times before, but you put great characters like Jason and the cast that they had, it just works. You know what I mean? It works. And the action scenes, as you said, that'll blow your mind in itself. There's one scene in there that you guys, if you are fans, you will absolutely enjoy, because me and G-Man loved it. But yeah, guys, catch the full breakdown, spoiler review on our weekly podcast. G-Man, you had anything else to say, or?
No, I think you touched on everything, man. I think this it's one of those rare movies where, in my opinion, the number two is better than the number one, like a Terminator 2, for example. And guys, honestly, check it out. Actually, I can't guarantee anything to people, but it's entertaining. It is an entertaining, good action comic book movie. Check it out. Love it.
No, that was good. That was good. Guys, as always, massive thank you on the support on the channel. Make sure you check out the weekly podcast that we do. It's available on YouTube and all streaming platforms like Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Spotify. Make sure you follow us on our Geek Out Journey on socials. Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And always grateful. Hope you guys enjoy the movie. Enjoy Christmas and have a happy New Year.
We out.
Peace.
Peace.